They won't believe it at first. They'll say it was timing. They'll call it luck or connections or a hidden advantage. But what they will never understand, what they'll never even think to ask, is how you trained your mind. Because all wealth, all power, all creation begins in the mind. Before the bank account grows, before the opportunities appear, before the world takes notice, there must be a single thought, a spark. Napoleon Hill called it a burning desire. Not a wish, not a vague intention, but a white-hot obsession with a definite goal. That is where wealth is born. Not in effort alone, not in hustle without direction, but in thoughts so vivid, so emotionally charged, that the subconscious mind begins bending reality to match it. Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But the missing part for most people is the second half, belief. They can imagine wealth, they can picture success, but they do not believe it. They do not believe it's possible for them. They don't hold the image long enough for it to take root. You must become different. Your wealth must start inside. It must begin with a decision, that your life will rise above survival, that you will command your thoughts, direct your emotions, and hold your vision with the strength of steel. Because your mind is not passive, it is not neutral, it is either working for you or against you. Your mind is the soil, and your dominant thoughts are the seeds. If you plant thoughts of fear, limitation, and scarcity, then don't be surprised when your life reflects that. But if you plant thoughts of abundance, creation, and clarity, you will grow something extraordinary. Most people never train their mind. They let it run wild. They let fear speak louder than purpose. They let the past write the future. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But the wealthy, those who understand the hidden laws of success, they don't let the mind drift. They discipline it. They condition it. They feed it on purpose. They speak wealth. They think wealth. They expect wealth. And because of that, wealth has no choice but to appear. You see, the mind doesn't care what you plant. It will grow whatever you feed it, fear or faith. You get to choose. So choose wisely. Choose to become the architect of your reality. Choose to hold the image of your future so clearly that your current circumstances begin to dissolve under the pressure of your new vision. This isn't magic. It's mental alignment. The mind trained for wealth is not confused. It is not scattered. It is directed. It knows what it wants. And because of that, the world begins to shape itself around that clarity. So remember this. Every fortune begins in thought. Every breakthrough starts in belief. Every transformation is born inside, long before it's seen outside. Wealth begins in the mind. And if you can control your mind, you can create anything. Wishes are feeble. They whisper. They dissipate. They perish the instant resistance appears. But purpose commands. Purpose directs. Purpose moves mountains. This is the first separation you have to make if you're genuinely interested in attracting boundless wealth. You have to exchange your wishes for a clear-cut chief purpose. Napoleon Hill didn't pen, think, and wish hard. He wrote, think and grow rich, because thinking with purpose builds power. Wishing quotes, it would be pleasant if I were rich. Purpose declares, I will become rich and nothing is going to get in my way. There is a huge difference here. One is a dreamer. The other is a doer. The person who is wishful wishes the circumstances will be so. The purpose-driven individual makes up their mind that they will be, and then creates the circumstances through targeted action. Wishes wait. Purpose acts. Hill stated, the starting point of all achievement is desire, not hope, not wish, but a keen, pulsating desire which transcends everything. You must feel it in your bones. You must wake up thinking about your goal. Go to sleep visualizing it. Let it consume your thoughts until it becomes real, even before anyone else can see it. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they never decided what they truly want. Their energy is scattered. Their aim is blurry. And wealth? It doesn't respond to confusion. It responds to clarity. It follows the individual who knows where they're headed. You can't think about success on your couch and hope for miraculous outcomes. You have to be consumed by the result. Laser sharp, unrelenting. Your clear purpose has to be so powerful that it mutes every doubt, every procrastination, every distraction. And here's reality. You will get tested. Your hunger will be tested. Life will challenge. Do you really want this? Or are you pretending? If it's a wish, you'll quit. If it's a purpose, you'll rise. Because when your mind is focused on a specific goal, failure becomes a lesson. Pain becomes fuel. Time becomes your ally. And obstacles become stepping stones. You have to know what you want. You have to write it down. You have to say it out loud until your subconscious starts to believe it like it's already occurred. Not, I want to be rich. That's too general. Too empty. Be specific. I will make $500,000 a year by creating a system that serves others at scale. I will create an empire that enables me to live freely, lead boldly, and give generously. Define it. Declare it. Dedicate yourself to it. That is how you move from wishes to wealth. That is how you magnetize abundance, not by wishing but by choosing. Because the universe doesn't move for the hesitant. It moves for the clear, the committed, the focused. Those who don't simply desire it, but will become someone who insists upon it through purposeful action. So kill the wish, forge the purpose, and step into the mindset that wealth cannot ignore. You weren't born to pursue money. You were born to be a magnet for it. This is where everything changes. Because most people spend their life chasing money, asking it to come, praying it stays. But money doesn't respond to neediness. It responds to identity. Napoleon Hill didn't merely discuss goal setting. He taught us how to be the kind of person that money naturally responds to. He knew something the average mind misses. You don't draw what you want. You draw what you are. So the question isn't, how do I get money? The question is, who do I need to become so that money can't ignore me? Because here's the truth. If your habits are average, if your thoughts are reactive, if your surroundings are small, then no matter how much you want wealth, it will not linger. It will feel the mismatch and escape. Wealth doesn't react to wants. It responds to alignment. You need to update your operating system. Quit thinking like a consumer. Begin to think like a creator. The consumer thinks, what can I buy? The creator thinks, what can I create? The consumer expects opportunity. The creator creates opportunity. You need to change your identity. Not later. Not after you make it. No. You don't wait until you're rich to think like the rich. You think like them now, and wealth follows that vibration. How does your wealthy self wake up? What do they think? What do they endure? What do they refuse? What do they never let into their environment? If you desire different outcomes, you need to begin making different choices. Your mind is not a bucket to be filled with aspiration. It is a furnace to forge identity. Visualize it in your mind. Say it with boldness. Walk as if you already possess the life you are creating. Because wealth does not come to the confused. It comes to the clear. To the person who has trained their thoughts, refined their habits, and raised their standards until their life has no choice but to rise. Your wealth is waiting, not outside of you, inside the identity you're becoming. You are not chasing money. You are becoming the person money chases. They'll say you're unlucky. They'll say the odds were against you. They won't see the truth, that every storm, every loss, every closed door was part of your training. Because here's what most will never understand. Adversity isn't punishment, it's preparation. Napoleon Hill knew this well. In Think and Grow Rich he wrote, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But the average mind runs from adversity. The wealthy mind? It's tempered in it. Adversity is where you become unbreakable. Not because you stay away from pain, but because you utilize it. You grow up in it. You learn to think when everything doesn't make sense. You acquire the skill to keep moving forward when motivation is lost. You learn discipline. Not the discipline you speak about, but the one that wakes you up early when nobody is watching. The one that shows up repeatedly, even when failure gets in your face. This is the mental muscle that most people never develop. They believe struggle is a cue to quit, but the rich understand it's a cue to dig deeper. Because adversity doesn't come to kill you, it comes to bring you to light. It reveals you your weaknesses, your phobias, your untrained mind, and it dares you to get up. When things fall apart, when the plan shatters, when everyone else quits, that's the moment your real wealth training begins. Because wealth isn't just dollars in a bank. It's resilience in the storm. It's clarity under pressure. It's strength when excuses would be easier. Adversity is the boot camp of belief. It's the gym where your future is built. And if your mind is trained, nothing can stop you. Not rejection, not loss, not even time. You learn to act without needing the perfect mood. You learn to move when there's no applause. You quit waiting for surety and begin moving boldly. This is where the broke and the bold diverge. Most stop at resistance, but the bold, they lean in. They become more acute. They become more concentrated with each obstacle. Your adversity is not the end. It's the beginning. It's your test and your training. So let the world doubt you. Let the plan crumble. Let the storm rage. Because if your mind is trained, you will ascend through it, not despite the hardship, because of it. The ordinary person makes a wish. The rich make a choice. That's the distinction. One is fleeting. The other is absolute, unshakable, indelible, etched into the mind with flame. Napoleon Hill spoke, indecision is the seedling of fear. And fear? It's the murderer of every dream you never made concrete. You have to decide what you want. Clear, concise, loud. Because the universe doesn't move on the ambiguous. It moves on the specific. Ambiguous goals yield ambiguous outcomes. I want to be successful. What does that entail? Doing what? Living where? With what freedom? Until your mind is able to visualize the vision in high definition, it won't believe it. And if your mind doesn't believe it, it will never move towards it. Clarity is power. Clarity is fuel. Clarity is the spark plug key to every breakthrough. You need to define the life you wish to live like an architect designs a building, with detail, intention, and precision. Put it in writing. Say it out loud. Visualize it so vividly in your mind that your body begins to go towards it, even before the external world is able to catch up. Then the next ingredient, repetition. For one visualization is insufficient. One affirmation will not reprogram your mind. One decision will not overwrite decades of mental programming. Repetition is the destiny sculptor. It carves new beliefs. It programs the subconscious mind. It constructs the neural pathways which direct your thoughts, your decisions, your outcomes. You have to train your mind the way a soldier prepares for battle. Not once, not sometimes. Every day, unrelenting. Until to think like the rich becomes nothing but effort. It's default. The brain doesn't hear what you say once. It hears what you feel with passion over and over. Each time you picture your goal, each time you claim your identity, you are loading new software into your system. You are updating your operating code. But all of it is meaningless if you don't decide. Not I'll try. Not I hope. I will. One decision driven by obsession can change your life. Because decision leads to direction. And direction leads to momentum. And momentum, unstoppable, focused, driven, leads to wealth. So choose. Choose to get clear. Choose to repeat it. Choose to become unshakable in your direction. Because clarity plus repetition plus decision equals unstoppable mind. And an unstoppable mind attracts unlimited wealth. You don't get rich by putting numbers together. You get rich by multiplying value. And that multiplication begins inside of you. Before the house, before the car, before the life. The foundation has to be in your mind. Napoleon Hill did not say, go out and find money. He said, riches begin in the form of thought. All outward things reflect what has already been constructed inward. That means you have to quit chasing and begin building. You need to stop operating out of consumer mind and begin operating out of creator mind. Consumer waits for opportunity. Creator creates it. Consumer says, how much will it cost me? Creator says, how can I produce more than I expend? Every dollar you wish, every opportunity you want, is waiting for the part of you that is ready to have it. Wealth belongs not to the person who desires it. It is the property of he who has prepared himself mentally for it. Your habits are blueprints. Your discipline is the foundation. Your standards are the steel frame. Construct sloppy on the inside, and your outcome will disintegrate when pressure is applied. Construct with strength and clarity, and your vision becomes a fortress. This is why your inner world needs to emerge before your outer world can do so. Mindset before money. Identity before income. Vision before visibility. Most individuals desire $1 million, but continue thinking like a person who cannot make ends meet. That mentality cannot support wealth. It will undermine it, fritter it away, or intimidate it out of existence. You cannot do better than your self-image. You will find yourself again reverting to the level of identity you feel you deserve. So recreate your self-image like a sculptor, boldly, each day, without regret. I am a creator. I am a builder. I am deserving of wealth because I bring the world something of value. You need to test your mind with new language, new expectations, and indeed your surroundings play a role too. For you cannot construct a mansion of thought in a block of limitation. Keep yourself surrounded by individuals who push your mind to expand or shrink to their ease. This is your true work, not keeping up with the trends, not mirroring others, but becoming the type of individual who turns wealth into a natural consequence of who you are. You don't require additional money. You require more structure within. You do not require more approval. You require more belief. So cease constructing outside that which has not yet been built within. Begin with the mind. Construct with intention. And permit wealth to rise to meet you. Wealth is not luck. It's not talent. It's not even hustle. Wealth is a frequency, and you are the transmitter. Napoleon Hill knew this decades ago before science validated him. Your subconscious mind works day and night through the power of autosuggestion. That is to say, your mind is constantly broadcasting, whether you know it or not. The only question is, what signal are you sending? Are you tuned to fear or faith? To scarcity or abundance? To I can't or I will? Because you can't draw wealth in while emitting poverty. You can't declare abundance while operating on victim thinking. And you can't look for success while setting yourself up for failure. Each thought you affirm, each belief you validate, is a frequency your perception locks onto. And the world reacts to that cue. The rich, they don't just think big once. They think big every day. They rehearse wealth thinking the way musicians rehearse scales, until competence becomes second nature. They get up with purpose. They talk with purpose. They respond with faith. They don't say, can I afford this? They say, how do I create this? That's a different vibration, a different level of awareness. And wealth moves to that level as metal to a magnet. But most people remain in the static. They move between doubt and hope, between fear and desire. Their minds flash like fractured radios, and they're surprised that nothing broadcasts. You have to make a choice, to commit, to discover the station of abundance, and refuse to shut it down. This requires daily discipline. Not someday. Not when you're ready. No. You train your mind to remain on target when the world attempts to get in your way. You keep your vision when situations yell the contrary. You give voice to abundance when your world continues to appear as hardship. Because it is through repetition that the signal becomes audible. And it is through clarity that the universe listens. Consider it similar to gravity. It does not care who you are. It reacts to alignment. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are vibrating at. That is why you need to behave like the person you want to be. Not once you have the outcome, before. Because money responds to identity first, result second. And identity is created by thoughts, feelings, and actions repeated until it becomes you. So commit. Lock into the wealth frequency as if your life depends upon it, because it does. Repeat your affirmations. See your future. Take aligned action. Not for motivation, but for recalibration. Daily, hourly, until wealth is no longer something you are reaching for. It's something that's reaching for you. Because when you lock in, when your thoughts, emotions, and energy are set to abundance, the world has no choice but to respond accordingly.